2 years he walks the earth. No phone, no pool, no pets, no cigarettes. Ultimate freedom. An extremist, an aesthetic voyager whose home is the road. What is Transcendentalism? Transcendentalism is a philosophy created by Ralph Waldo Emerson in the 19th century as a philosophy to... Its whole basis is around nature, living away from society, and basically being yourself, self-reliance. Imagine living in a place outside of the restrictive compound of society, relying on yourself and your own thoughts rather than what everyone else tells you to think. It's a philosophy for people who are sick of society, people who no longer want to be controlled. Trusting your own intuition and conscience over societal norms. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he brought up a really good point. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He started this whole movement based around nature and the divinity around nature. Henry David Thoreau, he did an experiment and wrote a book on it called Walden, where he went out to a cabin and lived there for years to write his books, kind of connect with nature on a divine aspect. They believe that nature is the path to divinity, and they have a strong disdain for materialism and conformity and conventional institutions. They believe that while there's inherent goodness in everything, society is the one that kind of disrupts it and makes that inherent goodness evil. There's a few modern transcendentalists, not many, since the movement kind of died out along with Thoreau and Emerson. Chris McCandless is one of my favorite modern transcendentalists. He went out to Alaska, he gave away his money, abandoned his car, he sought raw experience over the comforts of his home. I mean, his family were millionaires, and he was sick of society. He was sick of being given everything. He wanted to do things on his own accord, having a strong disdain for authority in society. He sought self-discovery when he went into the wild. He had an extreme quest for independence, and unfortunately it led to his death in Alaska. He truly embodied the transcendentalist ideals. While he may not have been as prepared as he should have been, I believe wholeheartedly that his ideals were the very core of transcendentalism. And there's a dark side to transcendentalism. While it might have been more of disillusionment, it can sometimes lead to darker things happening. For example, Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, writing a book, Industrial Society and Its Future. I suggest everyone read this. While some people may not agree with what he says, I don't agree with everything he says, but his disdain for the industrial society and technology is truly powerful in a good and bad way. Because of his bombing campaigns, he killed several people. His main belief was that modern society corrupted human connection to nature. he lived in a remote cabin in the woods, rejecting all societal ties, um, while he created but terrorism. His terrorist acts were definitely not transcendentalism at its core, but his reason for doing so was. Transcendentalism isn't about violence or anything like that. It's about the goodness of nature and people, that society corrupts them, along with technology. Transcendentalism, it can be a great way to truly connect with nature and the very earth, but when it's coupled with extreme misanthropy, it can cause violent tendencies a lot of the time. People like Ted Kaczynski, or I don't remember his name, but the person who did The Killdozer, things like that. But Transcendentalism never stood for that. It was about the inherent goodness of people, and that getting away from society, trusting your own self and self-reliance, being out there in the wild, is truly the way that we're supposed to live. And that's the core of Transcendentalism.